$243,000 in just 3 months over Q4. Today we're going to do a case study in one of my old stores. That way you guys can get an inside look on how it actually works, the profit margins, what kind of ads I was running, what product I was running, basically how I did it all. No fluff here, no crazy intro, let's get right into it. All right, so you can see here on the back end of the store, it's 2021 Q4. I chose this store because it has really realistic results. It's not my highest netting store, but I no longer run this store, so I thought it'd be a great idea to break down a product and how I actually achieved this. That way you guys can take advantage of the opportunity here in Q4 of 2023, and the ad strategies that I actually use in this I'm still using today, so they're very relevant. First things first, let's break down a store where everyone wants to see the numbers, of course. $243,156.40 over 3 months. Now you can see it's just 1.3% above the last 3 months on this store, and people are always like, well, Q4 you can make the most money, and it's true, you can, but there's a lot more ad competition in Q4, which people don't really take into consideration. So I don't like to extremely aggressively scale in Q4. I kind of just like to play it normal. But nonetheless, let's keep breaking it down. 667,000 store sessions, 20,837 orders, an online store conversion rate of 2.96. There was just over a 10% customer returning rate. A lot of that comes from email marketing. And most of the traffic came from the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada, which I highly recommend targeting, especially in Q4. I also did some broader European testing this year. That's why you see Germany in there at top 5 as well. The way people viewed the website was mobile primarily, which you guys already know. 95% of your traffic is going to come from mobile, so make sure to optimize your website accordingly. And where the traffic came from was Instagram and Facebook. That is my bread and butter in terms of advertising. It's extremely underrated, especially in 2023 when everyone's telling you to avoid it. There was some residuals from like TikTok and Snapchat. I didn't run any TikTok or Snapchat ads during this quarter, so I think people were just talking about it, maybe tag the brand or search for it on these platforms. Not really sure how that happened, but there were some sales from there as well. So that's the back end of the store. Pretty good Q4 overall, but now we're actually going to break down the profits and the ads I ran and everything in between. So the revenue, right, is $243K. We're going to go into the biggest spend now, which is advertising, which if you're going into paid advertising, that's most likely going to be your biggest expense. So during this quarter of October 1st to December 31st of 2021, I spent a total of $109,000, $153 and some change. So calculating that out right off the bat, because everyone wants to know the ROAS as well, it's roughly a ROAS of 2.22. So for every dollar I spent in advertising, I got $2.22 back. It's a pretty good ROAS. It's nothing crazy. Anything over 2 is pretty good. It just depends on your break-even point and what your product cost is. Now, breaking it down even further, you can see that the cost per result is obviously incorrect. In 2021, there was a lot of attribution issues. I wasn't using triple whale or anything like that, so these were not recorded properly, but that doesn't really matter. The amount spent, the biggest campaign was $4,149, and it's actually a couple of the top ones that I use the same creative for and duplicated, which I'll be covering in just a little bit. CPMs were extremely low, $2 on average for like the top 4 countries. And then when I opened it up a little more broad to Europe in general, it got down to 70 cents. So that's very, very cheap for a CPM. It's because the market is so big, the ad creative was getting a lot of engagement and the conversion rate was really nice. It allowed it to actually bring it down to this low CPM alongside with the low cost per link click of about 26 cents total on average, which is very, very low. But again, the industry was beauty tools, so I'll be revealing the product in just a second. Really, the CPMs and the cost per link click is really case by case basis, depending on what niche you're in. So this one just typically is a little bit lower, which is great for me, especially selling in the low ticket area. Something that I really want to emphasize about these ad campaigns is that they were all image ads, and specifically carousels. So if you don't know what a carousel is, it's basically when you go on Facebook and you choose your campaign style, you can do single image or video, or you can do a carousel. And so in a carousel, you can add multiple images or videos. Carousel ads with multiple images are crushing. They've been crushing since 2021. They still are today. That's why you get all these really cheap cost per link click. So many people are just jumping right into video and there's so much competition there. I really like running image ads. It's not the most popular take out there, but they work really well for me. Obviously, it depends a little bit on what your product is, if it has to be shown in use. But if you don't need to do that, run carousel image ads because it is just crazy cheap. So now that we've covered the expense of advertising, let's go into the product and then the product cost. Big product reveal, nothing crazy at all. I like selling in evergreen markets where there's demand, people want the product, especially when it starts trending. It is this $1.67 for 10 pieces of a eyebrow trimmer slash facial hair trimmer for women. So I stumbled across this product. I think I saw it on TikTok at the time. I can't really remember. Then I thought it was interesting, and I remember my fiance actually using these. So I was like, what can I actually sell this for? What's the perception of value on this? Do a lot of people use it? So therefore, I started doing some research. Face shaver for women. Look what pops up right away. I mean, this is a recent search, but it's the same as 2021. We got Leaf Shave, Michael Todd. These are all reusable. That's my point here, though. I don't even have to cover all of these. But look at the price on these. $40, $96, $200. It's absolutely insane what people are charging for a reusable one. So a disposable one's gonna be a lot cheaper, and I can sell it for a lot cheaper. Now, at the time, spending $96 on a face shaver was a lot of money. It still is a lot of money. So I think people are more opting in for disposable things that are a lot cheaper, which is why I think I had a decent conversion rate on my store. Then I did some more research and I said, what percent of women shave their peach fuzz on their face? And I just found a bunch of articles. I mean, since like 2015, 2021, there was one that really stood out to me. That was in the Wall Street Journal, which I don't have access to anymore. Female face shaving is more common than you think. It says dermaplaning, which is what it's called, has recently taken hold on TikTok and YouTube because of beauty influencers, right? So it was trending at the time for the most part. And I thought this is the perfect time to sell this product. It's trending. I know the beauty niche very well. It's really cheap, which I like to sell low ticket. And I don't need to make a video for it because there's so many videos out there. People already know what this product is. I just need to have a good offer, which I'll break down in a little bit, and hopefully capitalize on it and get some cheap ads out there. I then went on Google search trends and I looked up dermaplaning because that's the term for it. And you can see here, it spiked a couple of times, always like just right after kind of winter, I guess, like the February. I don't know why, but I really caught like the third wave of it in popularity. So it's not like this brand new product that I found out of nowhere and needed this crazy demand that was untapped. It's just a great evergreen product and people needed it. But I knew this product was really cheap and the margins weren't gonna be fantastic based on the advertising cost. So I needed an upsell, and I found the perfect upsell to go alongside it. It is this eyebrow shaver thing or whatever. It's like a trimmer, basically just a pair of scissors for your eyebrows. This one costs a little bit more, but I did a bundle deal with my supplier, and this was my upsell. So I don't know exactly how many total upsells I had for this product, but the upsell conversion rate, my guess was 40 to 50%, something like that. With everything all together, the average order value was $11.66. And the pricing that I used for the products was the face trimmers were $7.95. And the upsell that I used, the eyebrow trimmer, which was an in-cart upsell, I only sold for $4.95. So once they got on the page and accepted the price of $7.95, and they saw the upsell for almost a higher perceived value product for less than the original product, that led to a really, really high conversion rate of the upsell, which was really, really nice to see because I needed to make up a little bit more margin. And the best part is that I could actually source it from my private agent, who would then bundle it in the same exact package. They're both lightweight items, so the shipping was extremely cheap. And on top of that, the products themselves were pennies on the dollar, especially when I'm ordering in this kind of quantity. This gave me a great opportunity to do a high volume play here. While the margins were low per unit sold, I sold a lot of units, therefore made a lot of money. But let's actually see how much profit I made, and then we'll cover the ads that I was running. So total revenue was $243,156. I of course then had to pay the advertising fees to Facebook, which is $109,153.86. And working with my private supplier, I was able to get this product for very, very cheap. And it actually worked out perfectly because he works with mainly Amazon FBA people. And when I sent him the product, he said that someone was already selling this a ton in the States for Amazon FBA. So he had a bunch of stock. He could also ship it out from the USA warehouse and just add those onto the extra orders that he was already placing for this client. So it worked out perfectly for me, and that's why it's so important to check with your supplier and just try to shave off costs where you can, because if this product was $4 to $6 total with the two of them combined, the net profit here in the end would have been a lot lower and it might not have been worth it. But nonetheless, the total product cost was $69,000, which was an average order cost to ship it out of $3.37, which is very, very cheap. And that helped me out a lot, especially with my profit margins. But of course, that's not all the fees. Shopify actually has to take some of the fees for processing. The total for Shopify fees was $12,579. And like you guys saw earlier, at a customer returning rate of 10%, which means we sent out a lot of emails trying to upsell them on other products. I sent out a good amount of emails, and it costs over the 3 months, $721.82. All right, guys, really quick, before we get into the total profit, two things I want to mention. If you're brand new to Shopify, make sure you take advantage of my discount code. You get $1 a month for the first 3 months. So instead of spending over $100 on Shopify, it's only $3 for 3 months. That'll be in a link down below. Also, if you want to work with me and my team at Ecom Remastered, where we work with you until you hit your goals, no matter what they are. We do custom UGC content for you, custom websites, 4 coaching calls a week, networking, community, and a lot of other things. So if you want to work with me, book in an application call down below. Now let's get into the profit. Now this brings me to my net profit for the 3 months of $51,176, which is not bad at all for dropshipping. So the profit margins, if you divide it by the total revenue, was just over 20%. So it's 21%, pretty much exactly, which is really healthy actually for dropshipping. You usually see anywhere from 15 to 30%. So I'm kind of like right in the sweet spot on the lower end. And I'm also happy with that. So we had $51,000, 176 or something like that. Divided over the 3 months is $17,000 net profit per month on this one store. Now, just to put it in perspective, if you did this every month for 12 months, you're over $200,000 a year profit. And before we break down the ads that I was actually running, this is why I chose this store, because it's not a crazy number that you're not going to be able to achieve. I'm not saying I'm making off this single store $5 million a year or anything like that. This is a very achievable number, and it's a life-changing number for a lot of people. And the beauty of dropshipping is this is one store. I have multiple stores. You can make multiple stores and just rinse and repeat what's working and test new things if you obviously want to increase your income. But $204,000 off of one store is fantastic. Now let's break down the number 1 ad that I was running. Obviously there was a lot of ad fatigue over the couple months, so I had to switch it up a bunch, but I'm going to break down the one that was working the best and lasted the longest. This was a carousel ad, like I was talking about before, where you could swipe left to right and you can assign which one comes first. So the one I assigned that comes first says annoying peach fuzz. You're not alone. 74% of women report unwanted facial peach fuzz. The solution? Arrow, right? You've probably seen these on Instagram where you can swipe and it says like swipe this way. That's what I was doing. I kind of took that for inspiration. I thought it was kind of cool. I hit him with a fact right off the bat of you're not alone. 74% of women reported this. Don't remember where I found the article, but I saw that somewhere. And then the next page was dermaplaning. That's the solution. This like template, it's so simple, but it just crushes. It's still crushing today. So I said dermaplaning removes fine hairs, little arrows here. Sharp but safe blade, reducing pulling or yanking, no shaving cream needed. Trim both eyebrows and facial hair with ease. That's the second image, so that they see the solution. Then they go to the next image if they haven't already clicked on the ad. And the next one is just a simple image of someone, using it. Some icons on the right side here: skin safe, no cuts or scrapes, look and feel your best, be ready for the night out in 5 minutes. I thought that angle was pretty cool because females typically take a long time to get ready. So be ready in 5 minutes for the night out because it's so easy just to zip, 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 and you're good to go. And so yeah, this was my ad creative. That was the best performing one. This is the one that did like 4,000, 3,700, 35. I think it stopped right here. So I spent like, I don't know, 15 grand specifically on that ad or something like that. All the other ones were variations of this, to be honest with you. They just got ad fatigue. So I switched up the colors and stuff like that, which you should be doing. So if your ad starts to fail randomly after like 2 weeks, it's most likely just ad fatigue. Just switch up the colors, maybe the image, the hooks, stuff like that. So some key takeaways for this video and advice going forward. Please try out image ads, carousel ads specifically. They're just so cheap. Image ads are so easy to create. It's so efficient. Instead of trying to get 10 different marketing angles for your hooks of your video and then editing them all together, you can make it on Canva in like 15 minutes. You can just test way more, way quicker. So if you haven't tried out image ads yet, I highly recommend doing it. Another key takeaway is low ticket kind of crushes. I'm a low ticket kind of guy, high volume. I know it's a lot more work customer service wise and stuff like that, but each unit sold doesn't necessarily net as much money, but it's a volume game. So if you can get up to 10,000, 20,000 orders, you can be making really good money with it. And plus the conversion rate's higher, the impulse buys are a lot easier, the upsells are a lot easier in my opinion. That's why I really like to stay in low to medium ticket. And another thing is to not be scared of evergreen markets or products that are already saturated. Like I showed you here, I mean, this product has been saturated many times, right? You see the spikes every so often. I'm not afraid of spikes, right? You just gotta take advantage of it, come up with an offer that's better than your competitors. Instead of having a reusable dermaplane device that's $99, sell one for $8 that's disposable and you get 10 of them. A lot of people are going to see that and be like, I at least want to try it for cheaper. I don't want to spend $96. And then you can upsell them on something else that's even cheaper. It's going to increase your average order value and increase your conversion rate as well. All right, guys, I hope you like this breakdown. I'll probably do one for this year after Q4 ends. It just depends on what product I'm running, if I'm still running it today. But I thought it'd be a great video to give you guys an inside look of how it kind of works, what worked for me this quarter, what strategies I'm using and I'm still using, and just a little more transparency on my channel, because I've got like 4 or 5 stores that are shut down that I could do some case studies on. So if you guys like this video, please make sure to let me know. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this raw video. I hope it was transparent for you. And of course, if you guys want to work with me and my team at Ecom Remastered, where we will work with you until you hit your goals and after, if you still want to work together. Yes, it's lifetime access. We do custom UGC content, custom websites, 4 times a week coaching calls, pretty much the whole shebang. If that interests you, make sure to book in an application call down below. All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.